three-part training in which we explore the various options and opportunities that we have with the platforms that we are either licensing or developing ourselves as a part of the Go to High School, Go to College program. As a means of introduction, as we begin our slide presentation, again, this is the second training. In tonight's training, we're going to focus on the platform that we have purchased for you called Dreambox. And Dreambox is a part of what we're calling our House of Alpha offerings. Of course, in the House of Alpha, we have the College of Friendship, the University of Brotherly Love, and the School for the Better Making of Men. Tonight we're going to be talking about the School for the Better Making of Men, which is Dreambox. And we'll get into specifically what Dreambox has to offer, but as we move to the next part of our presentation, to the next slide, I'd really just like to introduce myself once again. For those who may not know me or haven't had the opportunity to meet, my name is Brother Elvin Dowling. I am life member number 8511, a 1994 initiate of the Gamma Iota chapter and a member of the Omicron Upsilon Lambda chapter out of South Florida. I also serve as the grant management consultant for the Go to High School, Go to College program, and in capacity I've had the opportunity to work with our executive director and his leadership team, Brother Lyle, as well as the brothers at the corporate office, to really develop for you what we hope will be a life-changing opportunity for the young people that we're going to serve in our program throughout the country. And just to kind of give you a global view once again in terms of the people that we're serving, we're going to be serving, brothers, so that you know, we're going to be serving a total of 1,100 kids in 41 chapters in 29 cities across the United States of America. Just to kind of give you a breakdown, we do understand that there are two scopes to our program. There is our Go to High School scope, which targets young people ages 6 to 13, and then we have a Go to College scope, which targets high school students ages 14 through 17. And so that you know just from a numerical perspective what our numbers look like, we have approximately 300 young people in our Go to High School scope, which is that grade school through middle school, and we have an additional 800 kids in the Go to College scope. Now, I know that there are a number of you who are sitting out there and you're saying, well, my chapter is only going to be focused on high school students, so why should we sit through this training? And that's a very important question. It's a fair question, and I will answer that by simply saying the Dreambox platform, which is primarily geared towards our Go to High School scope of children, ages 6 to 13, Dreambox is an adaptive learning program that will assist high school students who may need remedial support, who may need intervention in the area of math. Dreambox is going to assist them in burnishing their mathematics skills. So what does that mean, Brother Dowling? That means this. Brothers, if you have a program that you're only offering Go to College services, meaning you're only targeting high school students, the reason why you're on this call tonight and you're going to also learn about Dreambox and the offerings we have for elementary and middle school students is because there may be a young person, or there may be quite a few young people in the Go to College program that you are sponsoring that are not proficient in their mathematics skills. What does that mean? That means you might have a 9th grader who's only proficient up to the 6th grade in mathematics. So what we have done is we have purchased additional seats, additional licenses in the Dreambox classroom for those individuals who may be in high school, but they're not proficient in high school mathematics. And so Dreambox is going to help those young people as well to bring them up to speed so that they could be on grade level and moving forward in their academic progression. And so that's why we wanted everyone on the call tonight, so that we're all on the same sheet of music and understanding that even though you may not necessarily be serving elementary and middle school students, you may have some kids in your program that need some additional support, that need some intervention, and so that's why we have provided the Dreambox opportunity for them as well. So as we move to the next slide, I'd like to just talk for a moment about why we're here and the purpose of what we're doing. So as you can see, there's a famous quote by Malcolm X that says that education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. The whole purpose of Go to High School, Go to College, as you know, is about supporting and strengthening the academic skills of the young people we serve, so that when they are in elementary school and middle school, they are prepared to transition effectively into the high school level, and if they're in high school, they're prepared to transition into the college level. And so our goal is to be an educational buttress for the students that we're serving. We want to be the educational leaders when it comes to mentoring our young people. We want to provide them educational opportunities. We want to provide them greater access to resources, so that when they're in the classroom, they're not falling behind. And we're going to talk just for a moment about where our kids are academically, particularly with regard to math and science. And so I just want to underscore the purpose of why we're here. We're here for the purpose of preparing our kids to be academically proficient and successful, both in elementary, middle, and high school levels. So, brothers, as we move to the next slide, I'd like to turn your attention, if you will, and talk about what it looks like from an academic proficiency perspective, what it looks like in terms of African American kids. And so as you look at the chart right here, and it's broken down by race, we have black, Latino, white, and then it breaks down black males, Latino males, and white males. So if you look at African Americans overall, we are about 17% in terms of national proficiency. In reading, we are less than 15% in terms of our proficiency in math, and we're even less than that. We're about 8% in terms of our children's proficiency in science, and this is when they reach the 8th grade. And as you see from this chart, Latino kids, they're a little higher, but let's take now a look at African American males. First, let's look at white males. When you see their reading proficiency levels, I mean, it just dwarfs African American males when it comes to proficiency levels. When it comes to reading, black kids, black boys in particular, when they reach the 8th grade, they're at about 12 to 13% reading proficiency level. They're a little higher in math at about 13, 14%, and in science, they're about 10%. And so I wanted to bring those statistics up, brothers, because I want to underscore for you the importance of mathematics and getting our kids proficient and ready for mathematics. Now, brothers, as we move to the next slide, I just want to talk again about how that is connected, how these math numbers are connected to our students' future. And so the question is posed, is a student's future success tied to today's test scores? And what I want you to do is to take a look at the chart that we're showing. And as you see right now, this is a chart that says that for each of the 2020 projected 5 fastest growing career fields. And so what USA Today essentially did was looked at the 5 fastest growing career fields. And those career fields are education, computer and information sciences, community services, management, and then marketing and sales. That's where essentially where the money is. Those are the fastest growing careers in America today. But then when you look at, brothers, the proficiency level for graduating students in these areas, and these proficiency levels are based off of the ACT college readiness benchmark scores that our children are taking. So when you look at the benchmark scores in these key areas, you will see very clearly that when it comes to mathematics, and math is that green line that you see, and science is the purple line. When you look at the green line and the purple line, when it comes to the careers of the future, our kids are just not measuring up when it comes to math and science. And so the purpose of what we're doing the School for the Better Making of Men for is to once again strengthen those mathematics skills so that our kids are prepared for the careers of the future. So as we move to the next slide, I'd like to just focus on a minute and back up, if I will. So yesterday evening, brothers, during our training on Mentorcore, I introduced to you what we are building for you, a mobile proprietary application that we're calling the House of Alpha. And the reason I'm bringing this up again, because the House of Alpha, it's going to have important features, and Dreambox is one of those important features that you need to be aware of. It's going to be available through that mobile proprietary app. The House of Alpha, as we talked about on yesterday, it's going to consist of two platform areas, an area that's specifically for mentors and an area that is specifically for the young people or the mentees that we're going to be serving. And so as we move to the next slide, I just want to kind of break down for you once again some of the offerings that are going to be available within the House of Alpha. So what are some of those offerings that are available within the House of Alpha? When you look at the various things that we have going on in the House of Alpha, of course we have the Naviance profile, or rather the Naviance platform, which is our college prep platform, and we're labeling that, or we're branding that, the College of Friendship. We have the University of Brotherly Love, which is the online learning platform that is being built for us, courtesy of the Memorial Foundation. And then finally we have the School for the Better Making of Men, Dreambox, what we're talking about tonight. And so all of the offerings, all of these platforms that we're going to be doing training on, the training that we did last night, the training we're doing tonight, and the training we're doing tomorrow night, all of those will be available on the mobile proprietary app that we're building for you, called the House of Alpha. And the reason we want to make those available on the House of Alpha, we want to make this as seamless as possible for the end user, and we have two end users. You, the brothers, are an end user, as well as the young people that we're serving are end users. And so we're doing certain things to make sure that it's an optimal experience for you. We are integrating what we call single sign-on capability, so that when you fill out your mentor application and you enter in a password and user ID, you will never have to do that again. So once you download the app and you enter in your password, you'll never have to worry about signing onto these platforms again. It'll be as easy as a click of a button. You can look for the School for the Better Making of Men icon, click on that, and it's going to take you directly to the Dreambox interface. And so I want to talk for a moment, as we talk about the Dreambox interface, I want to talk about what the mentors are going to see and then what the mentees are going to see. So if you are a mentor on the Dreambox interface, then the first thing that you're going to see is the mentor/parent dashboard, and that is a dashboard that's going to have all of the kids that are connected to you, and by connected to you I mean that every single brother that is a mentor in this program is going to be matched with a child that is a mentee in this program. Use data that you have provided to us through your online application, which is why it's so critically important. Once again, if I could just underscore why it's important that you fill out your online application in the Mentorcore platform, because the mentees are filling those applications as well. And based on your answers, we're going to match you with a child that fits your profile. And so when you log on to the mobile app and you click on the School for the Better Making of Men, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to bring up all of the students that are attached to you as a mentor, and you will be able to see in real time how that kid is doing in math. You'll see how they progressed in various learning modules. You'll see where they are. You'll see their area of growth. And one of the interesting things, and we'll get into this in the features component, but one of the interesting things about your access as a mentor on Dreambox is that we're going to email you. If the kid is doing well, we're going to email you and let you know that the child has earned various rewards. They've completed various learning modules. They've earned certificates. They've earned badges. So every time the child has a success in the Dreambox platform, you as a mentor, you're going to get a notification that lets you know, hey, little Johnny completed his learning module. Reach out to him and let him know that you're proud of him. And so that's one of the things, one of the features that's going to be great as a part of your interface as a mentor with Dreambox. Now, as a mentee, when you click on the Dreambox interface, it's going to essentially take you to a play area where you can essentially do video games and various things that are going to help you to move through the math learning concept. So as we move to the next slide, and you have a good understanding of what the House of Alpha is going to do in terms of making it seamless for you to be able to manage these platforms, I'd like to talk to you very quickly about what Dreambox is, and then we're going to go to a video that I think greatly illustrates some of the offerings that Dreambox has. So first and most importantly, brothers, Dreambox Learning is an online software provider that focuses on mathematics education at the elementary and middle school level. Now, Dreambox Learning provides pre-kindergarten through 8th grade students with over 1,800 lessons presented as animated adventures, games, and challenges. Again, the kids will have an opportunity to win badges, coins. They'll be able to unlock certain features within the platform, so it's a really fun and animated way for them to learn mathematics. And Dreambox Learning is also a software that utilizes intelligent adaptive learning engine, and we're going to talk about adaptive learning in a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of give you an overview of what Dreambox is. So as we move to the next slide, I'd like to show for you, brothers, a quick presentation in terms of, before we get to the presentation, I'm going to go through very quickly the platform benefits of Dreambox, and then we're going to get into a presentation that's going to show you what Dreambox does.
Muted.
Some of the benefits, if you will. The first benefit that Dreambox offers is it adapts to the individual learner. What does that mean, Brother Dowling? Well, that means that continuous formative assessment is done, and Dreambox essentially analyzes the student as they play. So every hour that the student is on the platform, Dreambox is analyzing what they do, how quickly they respond to the questions they're given. It kind of interprets how they're thinking, and it readapts the lesson based on the child, what we call adaptive learning. So say, for example, a kid is very good at comparing numbers, and they're very good at understanding numbers that are larger and smaller, but they need some help in terms of division. Dreambox, through its 48,000 data points, it's going to be able to actually adapt the lesson to the learning capacity of the child, so that the child is never bored, and the child is exactly where they are and where they need to be, and they're getting the lesson they need when they need it. And so that's what we mean by it adapts to the individual user. The second platform benefit that Dreambox offers is it personalizes instruction from intervention through enrichment. And by that we mean that it strategically increases the learning velocity of struggling students, advanced students, and on-level students. So what does that mean? That means if you've got a student that's struggling in mathematics, and how will we know they're struggling? We will know they're struggling because we have sent out a mentee application. The mentee application asks very specific questions of the mentee. What is your grade point area? What is your grade point average? What's your weighted GPA? What types of courses are you taking? Are you taking AP courses? How would you rate the level of your academic course load? Would you rate it as being challenging, or would you rate it as being easy? We also asked them, what are your SSAT scores, your PSAT scores? What are your SAT scores? What are your ACT scores? So once the child fills out all of that data, we will then be able to determine where this child is. And one of the great things about Dreambox is that when a kid who's in pre-K through 8th grade gets on Dreambox, the first hour or so of learning, Dreambox is actually analyzing where that child is. Are they on par in terms of their grade level? Are they advanced, or are they struggling students that need intervention? And so Dreambox is going to pinpoint exactly where they are, and it's going to adapt the learning for them, and it's going to personalize the instruction based on the child. What does that mean? You may have 30 kids in your program and 30 kids on the Dreambox platform, but not all kids are going to be getting the same lessons, because the lesson is going to be geared towards the child itself. And then the third benefit that I'd like to talk about is that Dreambox provides access and equity for English language learners. So, for example, if you have children who are of Hispanic descent, kids whose first language may not be English that are a part of your program, Dreambox is also in Spanish, and it adapts its learning environment so that English language learners can adapt to the platform as well, and they can succeed as well. So that's a key benefit that Dreambox offers. As we move to the next slide, we also want to talk about some additional benefits that Dreambox offers. The first thing it does, it develops skills and closes gaps fast. Now, brothers, you all have heard a lot about this concept of the achievement gap and how do we effectively close the achievement gap. Dreambox is going to help us do that in mathematics. And I mentioned in the training that I did last month, and I'll mention it again, I actually have been using my own children on the Dreambox platform for about 6 months now. I've got a 5-year-old who started when he was 4 years old on the Dreambox platform. It analyzed where he was in terms of pre-K, and he's been working on this platform now since June of last year. Now he's at a point where he is almost finished with the kindergarten mathematics curriculum, and his math scores have gone up 14 points since the first day that he started the platform. Now the average increase in test scores is about 4 to 8 points, and so 14 points is a little bit of an outlier. But I say that to say that it is a platform, from my own personal experience, I've seen that actually works, and it helps to increase math scores, and it helps to decrease the achievement gap. And so the second thing that Dreambox does in terms of another platform benefit is that it integrates assessment with instruction. And by that we mean that the ongoing capture of math gaps in student understanding and filling them in ensures that learners understand concepts before moving on to new lessons. What does that mean, Brother Dowling? That means, for example, say you have a 4th grader who is pretty much on level with everything that they need to know in the 4th grade. However, there are 2 or 3 areas that they aren't quite on level. So what Dreambox is going to do is it's going to advance them on those areas where they are on par. It's going to move them forward. But those areas where they need some additional instruction, it's going to pause them in those areas, and it's going to give them the additional instruction they need, and they won't be able to move past the particular learning modules until they've mastered those skills. And so what we'll essentially do is it helps remediate the child and bring them up to level in all areas of mathematics when it comes to what they should know, particularly when it comes to Common Core and other various evaluation methods that the schools use. Now, finally, the last benefit that I'd like to talk about is that it's research-based, standards-aligned, online math curriculum. So Dreambox aligns with Common Core. It aligns with TEKS and other U.S. and Canadian standards to make learning and teaching easier. And so why is that important? Because most of the educational systems across the country are moving or fastly moving to what they call the Common Core in various areas, whether it's reading, math, or science. And so Dreambox is learned with Common Core curriculum. It's aligned with that, so you don't have to worry about, the time that they're spending in Dreambox. Is it aligned with Common Core? Is this going to help them in the classroom? The answer is an emphatic yes. It's aligned with Common Core. It's going to help them in the classroom. It's going to help them to excel. So as we move to the next slide, I think it's important to sort of illustrate for you, brothers, if I can, illustrate some of the various features and how Dreambox is going to. And so as we move to the next slide, I'd like, Brother Lyle, if you could go to the slide that talks about the Dreambox difference. You're going to have to go up just a little bit. We want to talk about, we want to show the video that talks about the Dreambox difference. There you go. If you click on that, and brothers, I want you to listen attentively and watch this video as it plays.
Unmuted. As educators, we know that every student comes to class with a different level of math ability, yet we teach a single process to an entire class at the same time. To give the best possible education to my kids, we actually need a teaching assistant for every student. We looked for math software to help. I found that many programs took a typical lesson and just converted it to a digital textbook. Another claimed to be adaptive, but all it did was move students faster or slower through the exact same lessons. But one was a revolutionary change: true adaptive learning. Dreambox is the only program designed with an intelligent adaptive learning engine. Muted.
What we're going to do, Brother Lyle, while that buffers, looks like we may have some buffering issues. What we'd like to do is, Brother Lyle, if you could let that video buffer, and I am going to just kind of walk you through what the video is going to talk about. We're going to see if we can buffer it so that it plays okay.
Unmuted. Providing the most personalized learning experience possible.
Well, Donald, it appeared to be running good on my end. Are you having issues hearing or seeing it?
Educators, we know that every student comes to class with a different level of math ability.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Brother Lyle.
Are you able to hear it?
I can't hear it. I'm not sure if the brothers on the other end can hear it, but if it's playing on your end, go ahead and let it play, and then I'll finish.
We actually need a teaching assistant for every student.
After the video.
We looked for math software to help. I found that many programs took a typical lesson and just converted it to a digital textbook. Another claimed to be adaptive, but all it did was move students faster or slower through the exact same lessons. But one was a revolutionary change: true adaptive learning. Dreambox is the only program designed with an intelligent adaptive learning engine. It starts helping students immediately and continuously assesses exactly where students are and adapts to how they learn in real time. Dreambox measures how students are thinking within the lessons, constantly individualizing what each student sees next. In fact, as a single student works on Dreambox for 1 minute, the program collects, analyzes, and responds to over 800 pieces of information about that student and how they learn. That's 48,000 pieces of data every hour, providing the most personalized learning experience possible. The results are amazing. The kids love it. They think Dreambox looks like a game. I think it looks like a teaching assistant for every student. A teaching assistant with infinite patience, unlimited data, and a perfect memory. With the help of Dreambox, I can give each of my students the education they deserve. It's time to learn more. Start now.
Thank you, Brother Lyle. And so, brothers, I hope that video was a good kind of introduction into what Dreambox is and what it has to offer. And so, I'd like to focus, if we can, just for a moment. Uh, we're going to move and talk very quickly about some of the. I'd like to talk to you about the concept of adaptive learning itself. What adaptive learning is and how we're going to apply it. And so the question becomes, how does Dreambox work? How does Dreambox work? And what exactly is adaptive learning? And just so you know, and I realize that we have a number of educators on the line who've spent a lot of time in education. Adaptive learning is this concept of, again, where the learning is adapted to the child itself, and so that every child has an individualized instruction to assist them in doing their best in the classroom. And so, Brother Lyle, I'm going to ask you, if you would, to go back up to, looks like the seventh slide or so, that talks about the concept of adaptive learning. And if you would play that video, if you will. There it is.
Elementary classrooms, while up to 150 students pass through high school classes daily. These growing numbers have made it difficult for teachers to provide personalized and individualized education. How can we ensure that we are teaching every student at their appropriate level and meeting their individual needs with such vast classrooms? Secondly, despite all the advantages from technology, it has also brought about some concerns. One area in particular is students' needs for instant gratification. Video games, social media, and the accessibility of information has led to impatient and disinterested students. How can we compete to encourage and motivate students? Over the years, a solution that has become more and more popular is adaptive learning. Adaptive learning is a computer-based, often online educational system that modifies the material in response to student performance. By collecting data simultaneously as students complete modules and even problems, the program can tailor questions to each individual user. Currently, Dreambox is one of the leading adaptive learning products in math. So let's take a look at how it works. The program provides a modular curriculum that teaches lessons through a variety of engaging learning activities. Throughout the activities, students are continuously assessed and progress is tracked. This real-time data capturing system allows for the program to adapt and modify learning activities, such as sequencing, pace, and presentation. In addition, the program provides intelligent feedback to students and progress reports for teachers. So how does this system solve our educational challenges? Firstly, the Dreambox curriculum has been aligned to show student progress toward the Ontario curriculum overall expectations. As for motivation, the self-directed nature, along with the gaming fundamentals of the program, empowers students. Lastly, the intelligent adaptive learning system provides a personalized and individualized instructions tailored to each student's unique need. Let's see it in action. This advanced technology enables the seamless integration of instruction and assessment before, during, and after each lesson. More than 50,000 data points are collected during every hour a student uses the Dreambox system. The adaptive learning technology tracks each student's interaction and evaluates the strategies used to solve problems. It then immediately adjusts the lesson through modifying the level of difficulty, scaffolding, sequencing, number of hints, and pacing as appropriate. This allows students, whether struggling or advanced, to progress at a pace that best benefits them. The foundation of the adaptive learning technology is based on Vygotsky's zone of proximal development. Pedagogically and research-based adaptive learning technology assesses and stays in the zone of proximal development for each learner. That means it provides the right lesson at the right level of difficulty at the right time. When work is easy, learners can do the work on their own without any help. It's in their comfort zone. If all the work a learner is asked to do is always in the comfort zone, no real learning will take place, and the learner will eventually lose interest. Conversely, when the work is too hard, the learner becomes frustrated and will likely give up. The area between the comfort zone and the frustration zone is the one where true learning will take place, the optimal learning zone. It's the area where a learner will need some help or will need to work hard to understand a concept or complete a task. By keeping the challenge appropriate, the learner is guided to be a mathematical doer, someone who thinks and strategizes in ways they can apply in school and in their real life experience. This is optimal teaching and optimal learning.
Okay, Brother Lyle, I think we are finished with that video. I believe we are.
Yes.
So, brothers, what I'd like to do now is to talk about some of the features. So, I realize that this is a lot of data that we're throwing at you. We're talking about adaptive learning. We're talking about measuring our results, and we're talking about struggling students and how do we prepare them and bring them up to par so that they can we can meet them where their needs are and serve them most effectively. But I want to talk just for a moment about the feature that Dreambox offers as a mentor and the features that it offers as teachers, offers to teachers and to parents. And so I'm going to ask Brother Lyle if you would slip down to the slide that talks about platform features, if you will. And we're going to focus just for a moment on some of the features in the platform. And I want to just kind of describe for you how we're going to set our system up and how it's going to work most specifically for your chapter. And so, brothers, I want you to imagine, if you will, that Alpha Phi Alpha and Go to High School, Go to College is its own school district. And so look at this and imagine our program being its own, imagine rather our fraternity being its own school district. And within the school district, there are various schools within the school district. Your chapter represents a school. If you're serving kids in your chapter, then you represent a school. Everyone is going to have access, every chapter that is serving students is going to have access and seats within the Dreambox platform. What does that mean? Well, that means if you are a chapter that is specifically focused on Go to High School, which are kids between the ages of 6 and 13, then we will have a seat in the Dreambox classroom for every single child in your program. That means that every single child in your program, Alpha Phi Alpha has already purchased for them at no cost to the chapter, at no cost to the child, at no cost to the parent. We have purchased a seat within the Dreambox classroom for that child between the ages of 6 and 13. Now, even if your chapter is not serving kids ages 6 to 13, we have purchased additional seats for your chapter so that every chapter will have its own Dreambox school. What does that mean? That means if you are a chapter that is only focused on high school students, however, you've got 2 of your 35 kids, they're below grade level in math, you will automatically have a seat that we've purchased for your kids that need remedial assistance. They will be a part of this platform as well, and so your chapter will have its own school within the Alpha Phi Alpha Go to High School, Go to College school district. And so, Let's talk about some of the features. Now, I want you to see Alpha Phi Alpha and our national program as the administrators, so to speak. And also, I want you to see the local program coordinators as your local administrators for your particular school, or rather, they would be the principals for your school. So your director of educational activities, their role would be almost like the principal role for your dream house school for the better making of men. And so as the administrator, as the local administrator, you'll be able to get reports on what your kids are doing. Most specifically, we're going to give you specific, measurable, actionable data on learning trends that makes it easy for you as local program coordinators to evaluate the instructional programming, as well as understand student preparedness for high-stake assessments. What does that mean? That means as local coordinators, you will be able to see every single student that's within your school. You'll be able to see their progress and measure it real life, real time. Now, if you are a mentor in the program, I want you to see yourself in the School for the Better Making of Men. I want you to consider yourself a teacher. And so what does that mean? As a teacher, you will essentially have a classroom. Your classroom is in your local chapter school. So I'll give you an example. Xi Lambda in Chicago has a school. Within Xi Lambda school is a classroom. And the classrooms are basically, the classrooms are grouped based on how many students that the mentor has that they're mentoring. So say, for example, a brother's in Xi Lambda and he has been matched with 4 kids in his program. That means in the Dreambox school, he is the teacher, and in his classroom are 4 students. And so what that means is that as a teacher, you will be able to see, as the teacher/mentor, you will be able to see all of the data related to the kids that you are mentoring. So you'll be able to see real time where they are academically. You'll get reports. You'll be able to download those reports. You'll be able to see where your kids are academically. And then the last feature that we offer is that Dreambox, we talked about this whole connection with family and the importance that parents play in this process. Parents are a huge part of what makes a child successful in school, and so, which is why we ask for parent emails. I know a number of you said, well, some parents may not have access to email. The reason we need your parents' email address, because if parents have a kid who's on the Dreambox platform, Dreambox is going to email them to let them know, hey, John hasn't logged on to Dreambox in the last 5 days, or, you know, little Johnny has achieved some academic and learning milestones as a part of playing on the Dreambox platform. And so that's why it's important to have that contact information so that we could get those reports to our parents. And these reports are automatically generated, so it's nothing that the parents have to do. It's nothing that you have to do. We're going to automatically, the system will automatically generate reports for you so that you can see, as a mentor, you can see, how are my kids doing on this platform? As parents, they're going to get reports. This is how your child is doing. They'll be able to log onto what's called the parent dashboard and see exactly where their child is at in the Dreambox platform. They'll be able to see all of the various learning modules that they've mastered. They'll be able to see those things that they need remedial assistance on. And one of the neat things about it, and I'll just close on this with regard to the features, is one of the neat things it does is, as teachers and as parents, you will also get an automatic report that says, okay, little Johnny is learning the concept of grouping numbers today. And so here's what you can do when you're out and about. When you're at the next time you're at the grocery store, these are some activities that you could play with your kid to emphasize, or rather underscore, the importance of grouping numbers. So it gives you kind of those real life practical application things that, as both a mentor as well as the parent, what you can do to help strengthen what the child is learning in that particular area. And so those are some of the features that we offer through the Dreambox platform. And finally, let me just say this. We're going to do the same thing with Dreambox that we did with Mentorcore. I know a number of you have probably been tooling around since last night in your Mentorcore platforms. I sent out the login information for the local coordinators as well as the presidents of the chapters to be able to go into Mentorcore and see what we've set up for you. As you can see, when you log into Mentorcore, we've already uploaded the data. You have now access to the applications that have been assigned to your chapter, access to the mentors now that have been assigned to your chapter. If you're a local program coordinator, you can go into your program right now on Mentorcore and see all of the brothers that have submitted applications via our online process. And so why is that important? Because we're going to do the same thing for you with Dreambox. We don't want you to have to go in and have to set up the school, create the school district. We're going to do all of that work for you. We're going to send you a login as a mentor. We're going to send you a login as a local chapter coordinator or a local chapter president. So you'll have your own login. We're going to set up the system for you so that all you've got to do is press a button and poof, there are all the reports you need for all the kids that are assigned to you. So there won't be any it won't be necessary for you to enter any data. Once you give us the data that we're looking for in your mentor application, you're good to go. And so there won't be anything extra that you need to do in order to be set up in Dreambox. We're going to set up your Dreambox classroom for you. We're going to set up your Dreambox kids for you. We're going to set everything up for you so that it's an easy plug-and-play solution. And so as we move to the last part of our presentation, I'd like to show for you, brothers, another video presentation which covers most specifically
Unmuted.
The student experience. See what the students are going to experience as a part of the Dreambox learning platform. And so what we have here is we actually have a teacher who has a classroom that is on the Dreambox platform, and so she is going to walk us through the student experience, because I want you to see most specifically what are the kids going to be doing when they're on this platform. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Brother Lyle to play the Dreambox student experience, and then once this video ends, we will open up our training for questions.
Hi there, Dreambox teachers. This tutorial is to set your students up for their experience in Dreambox learning. Once you've gotten them programmed into the application, it's time for them to start playing. So you need to get them into the website, which if you put a link on your website or a bookmark, it's fairly easy. Usually they know how to get to the most popular websites. So they click on it, and for their first time, they'll just click on their name. If they've played again, they click play. And they're going to click on their name. The first time they'll select a password, and after that they'll click on the password they chose. And this is a pictorial password for all students, I believe, no matter their age. I think you can change this. And then they will pick any game they would like to play. The open ones are ones that they believe are on their level based on the previous things they've done, or ones that you set as a teacher. And these are just practice things they've already mastered and they should have mastered by their grade level. So I'm just going to go into one that's a quick, fun, easy one and show you a little bit of an example of what you'll be doing. This is numbers that round to decimals.
Select 3. Numbers that round to -8.
And I'm going to select the numbers that round. When I click done, it checks them out. If they're right, it makes a hole in one. You want the hole in one, obviously. You score coins when you get the hole in one. You did it. You're good to go. You work your way through a whole bunch of these. 3.6, so you see 3.57, 3.56, and 3.59. Click done. Putt putt. Hole in one. And your goal is to get this green bar.
Muted. Unmuted.
And I work my way through the whole entire tutorial, getting all of these answers correct as fast as I can, as efficiently as I can.
So, Brother Darling, what we'll do is we'll upload this video to the GoToMeeting platform. It looks as if some brothers are having issues hearing the video.
Yes, Brother Lyle, I did get that message. And so what we're going to do for the videos, I am going to send out, when we get off the call, brothers, I will send out a link to these videos. And these videos are really, most of this stuff is really intuitive. Once your kids get on the platform, it's going to take them all of 5 minutes to learn how to use it. It will take you all of 5 minutes to learn how to navigate the platform as well. But be that as it may, I am going to send out a link to all 3 of these videos. So if you want to go back and review them at your leisure, we will make those available for you. In addition, in the downloads section of this training, in the materials section, we have also provided some materials on Dreambox for you to do some additional research in the additional reading that you may be interested in. But I will send out links to all of these videos, so don't worry about it. If you're having challenges with listening or buffering, we will make sure you get those videos. So to wrap up the Dreambox experience, first and most importantly, Dreambox, as again, brothers, it is a platform that focuses on adaptive learning. Again, adaptive learning is this concept where the learning is adapted to the needs of the individual learner, so that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to learning. There's no one lesson that goes to everyone. The lessons change based on the student responses, so there's never a same lesson. All of the kids, they will basically receive individualized instruction. The last thing I want to stress to you, brothers, is that Alpha Phi Alpha will set up a school for your chapter. Every single chapter in this program will have access to the Dreambox platform, even if you are not primarily serving elementary and middle school students. We will still set you up with a school in the Dreambox platform, and then you will have access. There will be a limited number of seats, but we will have seats available for any students who are at the high school level who may need some remedial training or assistance. We will have seats available, which is why we're going to create a school in the Dreambox platform for every single chapter within this grant project. And so, brothers, that is essentially what Dreambox offers. And finally, let me just say, Dreambox, along with Mentorcore, along with Naviance, they are wonderful products. They do amazing things, but they will not work if we don't use them. And so the old saying goes, it'll work if you work it. Brothers, these platforms will work it. It is going to be critically important that as mentors, and I want all the mentors to hear me very clearly, mentors, it is going to be your responsibility to stay connected and engaged with your students. It's going to be important that you follow up with them to make sure if you get an email that says that your kid hasn't been on the Dreambox platform in 5 days, it's important that you pick up the phone and call them, or you send them an email, or you call the parent and say, hey, I just wanted to check in on Johnny. I noticed he's not doing any Dreambox learning. What's going on? So this system will work if you work it. And let me just say, particularly with Dreambox and kids, it is a very fun platform. So they're going to enjoy it. All you have to do is expose them to it. So if you expose them to the opportunity, believe me when I tell you it'll work if you work it.